not that, it's just like you can't see yourself. Like I made a video of me doing a first person thing, and you can't. It's not actually useful because you can't see everything going on in dungeons. You've got no view. You've got your first person view, and it's obviously not going to help when there's mobs running all around doing big AoE damage on the floor. You can't see exactly how big that circle is looking through your own eyes. You need to have a magical camera following your character to be able to see. So that's the only shame. It's like, yeah, ZeniMax did a fantastic job listening to the audience, adding it on, but then obviously you just can't use it because it's an MMO and there's more shit going on than there is in a normal game. To be able to,
yeah.
I loved being first person, always in Skyrim. Always first person.
I played Skyrim pretty much solely in first person. But one of the things though is Skyrim had a better field of view for first person. I feel like it's too. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's 60 for the FOV in first person, which you can't see anything. And the easiest thing they can do to fix that, because I want to be able to play in first person, like when I don't want to try hard and I'm not power leveling, I'm not running a dungeon. If I'm just doing a quest around the town, I want to be able to hop into first person and just, you know, have a little fun. And I think that all they need to do is just put an FOV slider in it. I think it's scheduled to come in actually next week.
Oh, really?
But the fact that it took them, yeah, I think the 20-something, the next actual update is going to add it, supposedly, that they've announced this on their website.
They probably will then. That's good.
So yeah, which is awesome. Which is something that I don't know why it wasn't in launch. Because every game that has a first person, especially on PC, not console, every game that launches on PC, it's like kind of a rule of thumb to have to have an FOV slider. Like I dare you to launch an FPS on PC and then not have an FOV slider and get a decent amount of community support. It's not going to happen. And the same goes for any game. Skyrim had an FOV slider at launch. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember when I played Skyrim on PC, it had an FOV slider. So when I wanted to go into first person, I bumped it up to 85 or 90, and I walked around and I could see what I wanted to see. So that I feel like with the additive of that, I think that'll make a lot of the players that came over from the regular single-player games a lot happier. And I think that if they would have done that from the beginning, I feel like they wouldn't have lost. Because I've talked to a couple people that have unsubscribed that have canceled their subscription from this game because they're like, oh, first person, it's garbage. And my friend is one of them who I played with all the time. And the reason I got this game, because at first when I played the beta, I wasn't too thrilled with the game. But then again, I was like, oh, hey, it's the beta.
Yeah, of course, a lot to change. So, the first month was all over the spot with a lot of bugs. Like, I've seen 1,000 bugs, but so much of it's been fixed. They've done a fantastic job with adjusting a lot of things. Obviously, there's been a lot of maintenances, and there's been a good few patches. So the game's fucking come leaps and bounds from the release. So I think they've done a great job. They're a very good company, I think, ZeniMax, for its part.
I agree, and a lot of people think that that Bethesda did this game. That's something that kind of bugs me every once in a while. But I think ZeniMax did a wonderful job because they were developing this at the same time that, in unison with Bethesda developing Skyrim.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it's been in 6 years of development this on it, I think. Yeah.
They had to make a ton of changes to make the core players from the single player games happy to fit in with an MMO, which I have no complaints because, like I said, I'm a RPG player. I don't really play MMOs, and I really feel like they succeeded at that. So I give mad props to ZeniMax. So
what I was thinking, like, I used to play a game called Darkfall, and when you either do magic or archery, it forced you to go first person. You had no choice. And then when you went back to melee, you go third person. I always thought that'd be interesting if you were forced to do that with this. Just because, like, if you're aiming a bow, you should be like aiming it, like, cause otherwise there's no skill involved if you're not physically aiming it. Because I don't like a lot of things on this are very auto aimed. Yeah, if you ever fought a boss and they fire a spell, you run behind a rock, that spell will go through the rock, and it's like, what the fuck? Like, you say you've got no health, and you're trying to fucking run away to get your stats up or whatever. You're trying to use the environment for a shield, but no. Everything flies through it, and I find that really annoying. That's something like even Skyrim and that had the, you know, you fire a fire spell, it will go straight. It'll go straight where you aimed it, and you know if it fucking hit a pipe, it'll explode on the pipe, sort of thing. But this things fly through things, and it's highly annoying. I'm currently just tapping a skull and flying up into the mountain, but I don't understand why. I can't remember what I was meant to do. That's what I meant to do. I meant to fly up and get a chest. That's it.
Oh, I think I've done that quest, and you have to you do the skull, and you have to find someone on a rock or something like that.
Yeah, this
So
is. I'll no. Where am I? I'm in Morrowind. I'm currently in Dashan on the Ebonheart Pact. Sorry,
you know the Ebonheart once again talking bad about it. I my first character I got to like level 12 or 13 on the Ebonheart Pact. I thought it was so boring. I think the Daggerfall Covenant is the best. I haven't done much into the what's it called? The other one, the one with the high L's.
The other alliance is the Aldemiri Dominion.
The Aldemiri Dominion. I haven't done much with that, but I think it looks really nice. And I've just picked up like 7 or 8 straight aspect runes. That's pretty nice and convenient.
That's the shit you want.
Yeah. I think that if you want to play this game for the first time, the way to go is definitely the Daggerfall Covenant. I think I don't know how you feel on this.
Well,
but
actually, saying that, I've made videos fully reviewing each zone, like, you know, each zone and each alliance kind of thing, because I did like start, you know, basically where you see, imagine the Ebonheart, you start obviously on your little island Bleak Rock, then you go to Stone Falls and then Dasheen. But what I did in the video was I talk about that zone, then move to the next zone, and basically I did a full review of what's the most varied, interesting, and that, and it ended up being Aldemiri was the most boring alliance ever, because like three to 4 zones is just forest. They're all exactly the same, just forest, thicker, darker forest, then bit of forest and like open sand for Reaper's March kind of thing. And but Daggerfall was fantastic because obviously you start with Glenumbra, nice like meadowy kind of place. Then you go up to River Spine, it's all the undead. You know, completely different, all undead. Then again, it would go to like sort of nice meadowy thing in Stormhaven with a bit of the undead. Then it would go to Bankarok and Alkia Desert, and it was just like, you know, like just starts going mad desert. Alkia Desert was hugely different, and even Ebonheart is hugely different because obviously you've got the Morrowind, then it slowly heads to the Skyrim bit, then it goes down to the Black Marsh kind of thing in Shadowfen. So that's hugely different. So it keeps it interesting, but that's the problem with the Aldemir Dominion, that they were all so similar, and it just made it like a dull fucking chore to having to see the same environment after you just spent like a few days or even a whole week in that zone, depending how long it takes you just to move to a similar looking zone. It's like, for fuck's sake.
Did you skip the beginning islands on the Daggerfall Covenant?
No, I do everything, me. I like, you should see my Templar, man. I've done fucking like so much shit with him. It's unbelievable. I've done like 1,000 quests. I get the achievements for uncovering everything in the zone. Then I move over to the next. Like my Templar was fucking all over it, and I did all 3 alliances, and did everything I could. I'm a very busy guy with that one.
Because I really liked the beginning island for the Daggerfall Covenant, Stros Mackay. I thought that was a really good starter island, especially because I had just finished doing the Ebonheart Pact one. And the Ebonheart Pact, it was so boring. Like for some reason I just did not like it.
What these? Sort of Skyrim-y styled, because it's in Skyrim.
See, that's why I did it, because I was like, oh, I loved Skyrim. I want to continue in the same relative world as Skyrim.
You want to stay in somewhere you recognised.
Yeah, exactly. And I did not like it. I was not a fan. I just got so bored when I end up going back, because I'm gonna make another character probably in that Covenant, and I'm gonna just fast forward through everything, because there was nothing that really like tickled my fancy, for lack of better terms.
Now, the easiest way is just like watch YouTube at the same time as like you're just doing all the minor quests till you do dungeons. But I think a good thing we should move on to is dungeon experiences. Will be another good topic to move on to. But definitely, if there's anything you want to say to round up your thoughts of your gameplay so far.
Of my thoughts of the gameplay so far, I really enjoy it. That's all I can say is I think this game is really good. Sometimes it gets a little boring. I feel like some of the packs aren't as fun as the others. But besides that, as long as you find a pack you like, I feel like you're not going to have a bad experience. That's, if I could sum it up, that would be it.
Well, yeah, I think it's also a good thing to start with the most boring pact then because from then you move to a better alliance and a better alliance, and as you go up, because obviously by the time you finish one alliance you're level 50 or veteran 1. By the time you finish the second alliance you're veteran rank 5, and by the time you finish the third alliance you're veteran rank 10. So you're basically just doing exactly the same, but it just gets harder and harder. So it's always best to like get the shittest alliance out of the way. That's what I've been doing now, and then you got better ones to look forward to, kind of things. That's always something to, if you're planning to power level through the whole game, is just fucking get rid of the shittest area, Aldemir Dominion, and then you got the nicer ones to look forward to. But if you just want to start the game and have a look what it's like, fucking play as a sorcerer and go to either Daggerfall or Ebonheart for the nicer varied stages.
What's your favorite pact?
I think it has to definitely be Daggerfall, because I really love going from Glenumbra to Rivenspire. It's just a valley of the dead. It's all dry, desolate, zombies, vampires, werewolves. It's a phenomenal area. Yeah, and then it goes nice again and fucking all sandy and shit. It just, and even Alkir Desert looks great. I thought, deserts are going to be fucking boring. Yeah, open space, nothing there. But Jesus, it's the coolest looking dungeon I've seen. Like, coolest looking desert I've seen, man. It's amazing. So many cool relics, ruins, and huge ass like temple things like kicking about in the desert. It's like, whoa, that's a hell of a sight. You know, I just wanted to like record just like one huge temple, and it was just like, well, this looks amazing. But I stuck it in the video of when I did the review of the area kind of thing, and it's fucking nice, man. Honestly, that's if anything, yeah, Daggerfall's definitely got the prettiest and most like varied areas to see. Well, that's my thoughts.
I would agree. So, and I actually, from what I briefly played in the Aldemir Dominion, I really liked it. So, but I'm only on the first what's it called? Right after you do the opening island, the first city you're in. I'm only on the first land.
Yeah, Glenumbra is the
little mini country. Oh, it's Glenumbra?
Yeah, well, zoom out, go onto your map and right click, and then you can hover over the zone. It goes Glenumbra, because you got your Stros Mackay, then Becknith,
the work island.
I can't, yeah, and then Glenumbra, yeah, then Glenumbra's the big first zone. So you got 2 starter islands, get them done in a couple hours, and then you can
easy.
Blast
I was talking about the Aldemir Dominion. What's the name of the first, right after you do the starting?
Kinner's Route.
Okay, yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, that's as far as I am in that. So that's why I can't say that I've seen it. Everything's like they're really similar to when you move on. So because I'm only on the first land.
Okay, so like I say, I'd like to move on to a few dungeons. So I want to ask you. I got a few questions I want to ask for your experiences with dungeons. So obviously, because this is like one of your first like MMOs you've really played, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So obviously, you always hear a lot about other MMOs, like dungeons are always the main, like quite a big feature and things. Like, how have you experienced the dungeons in this game so far?
I'm gonna be honest with you. The first dungeon I did, which was the Spindo Clutch, yeah. I didn't really like it, but when I started playing more dungeons, and because like I said, I came from an RPG. I started to. I'm really liking the dungeons. I like that they're a little challenging. I don't like the game to be totally easy. Yeah. I like to have to, somebody. When you get into a big fight, somebody, at least if one person's not gonna need to be resurrected, or if one person's not gonna die, and it comes down to the last second, I feel like it's too easy. Because I really like it. It takes the game, which is normally sit back, relax, and kind of enjoy the world, to holy crap, like this is a little bit competitive now. It may be an RPG, but there's some competition here. You might lose, and if you succeed, you normally get some pretty good loot. And I don't know, I think I like the teamwork aspect of it. It just, because I'm a console FPS guy a lot of times, and I always like working with other people and for a common goal. And so like at first I wasn't really interactive. I just kind of sat there, didn't type anything in the chat, I went over there and I tanked. And once I really started to try and get into it, I really think the dungeons are pretty good. And I've played 5, I think, to this point, and I've beaten most of them 2 or 3 times just because I wanted to get more loot.
Yeah, a bit more loot in the experience.
Yeah. So yeah, as a completely noob to dungeons and MMOs, I really think that they did a good job. I don't know if you have a varying opinion, but
Like, did you feel like they were big enough? Like for your first dungeons are level 15 dungeons. I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
it's spindle clutch.